César Castelvi, le dernier empire de la presse. Christian Lamoureux, la dynastie des Song. François Robin, Birmanie, par-delà l'ethnicité. Nathaniel Amar, Scream for Life. Nicolas Prévost, un sacré bazar.
Hello, my name is Aurélie Varel. I'm the secretary of the French language edition of the International Book Prize ICAS GISAZI. This year we received 22 submissions in French of high diversity. I would like first to thank the committee members, my colleagues and academics Mathias Hayek, Louise Berthaud-Pichard, Valérie Lavoie and Xavier Paulès. Thank you so much for your work, dedication and very inspiring debates on the books. I would like also to thank Gosia Shvirot, who is the executive secretary of the prize. And now we can announce officially that the prize is given to the beautiful book by Nicolas Prévost, Un sacré bazar, Musique, possession et ivresse en Inde centrale, Playing with the gods, music, spirit and spirits in Middle India.
My name is Nicolas Prévost. I'm a lecturer in anthropology at the University of Paris-Nanterre and a member of the Centre de Recherche en Ethnomusicologie of the French CNRS. It is a great honor to be awarded the ICAS prize, so I'm extremely happy, very grateful to the ICAS first and also to the French consortium GIS-ASI, and of course to my publisher, Société d'Ethnologie.
Why did you choose this region of India for your research?
Why this region of Central India? Well, it's an old story. It goes back to my teenage. At that time, I fall in love with Indian classical music, rag music, Hindustani music. And by chance, I came across a very different LP called Musique tribale de l'Inde centrale, tribal music from Central India. It was a field recording by the French ethnomusicologist Geneviève Dournon. And I was really impressed by that record. I cannot say that I liked the music, but I was really puzzled thinking how is it possible that in a same country, even if it's a big country, India, there can be so different kinds of music. And how come that we know only Indian classical music or Bollywood music? After that, I think I forgot that LP, that story. But when I studied anthropology and then ethnomusicology, it came back to my mind, and I started to imagine a research about that music. I wanted to see if 30 years after Geneviève Dournon, that music still existed. What remained from that culture?
How did your journey in this topic start?
The first time I heard this music in that region, to be honest, I must say that my first reaction was to think, poor ethnomusicologists who would have to study that music. I cannot say I was seduced, on the contrary. I found it so weird and I understood nothing. Probably because this music is played by, but I had not realized that at the moment, but this music is played by several musicians, but they are never synchronized. They play together, but independently. This is a first puzzling fact for me. And at the end, this is what happened to me. I had come to Bastar to study maybe another kind of music, and I came to spend years on that one.
Can you introduce us to your book?
What about my book? Un sacré bazar, musique, possession et ivresse en Inde centrale. Well, I think it's easier to start with the subtitle. It could be translated as music, transpossession, and drunkenness in Middle India. Another way would be music, spirits, and spirit in Middle India. You see that it talks about music, alcohol, and trance. It takes place in the central state of Chhattisgarh, more precisely in its southern region called Bastar, known as a tribal area and which corresponds to an ancient kingdom. Now, the main title of this book, Un Sacré Bazar. It's hardly translatable in English. The French expression Sacré Bazar is quite puzzling. It means literally a sacred market, or holy bazaar, if you like. But when you say it in French in an everyday conversation, it rather means a big mess or a hell of mess. Unfortunately, I could find nothing that compares in English. It might give a kind of slippage between a big mess or a big mess and a great mass. But the slippage between mess and mass is another pun that works only in English. For the English version of the book, I hope there will be one, of course, I will probably have to find a completely different title. In the local Halbi language, the word bajar, like the French or English bazaar, derives from the Persian word bazar. As the title of the book, Un Sacré Bazar, it is in fact a play of words with the vernacular expression Deo Bajar, literally God Market, which is the name of the ritual that is at the heart of my work. In other words, by choosing this title, I tried to express with a bit of humor that the ritual I first observed was a big mess only for me as a newcomer in that region. The challenge of this book was to accompany the reader throughout the pages from the position of the outsider and novice I was to the position of the ethnomusicologist I am, the ethnomusicologist who tries to get inside people's mind and eyes and ears. So in fact, Deobajar should be more respectfully and correctly translated as the market of the gods. The idea and the challenge of this book was to fit the whole process of several years of research in 2 days. Un Sacré Bazar is the ethnographic chronicle of 2 days of ritual in Bastar in central India, Middle India. In search of the meaning of the music at the heart of this ritual of possession, I've tried to reconstruct, condensed in those 2 days, the detours of a long ethnomusicological investigation, of course made up of misdirection and backtracking. I draw the portraits of the main protagonists of the ritual, men, gods, and ancestors, trying to present them in their interactions in a lively way, I hope. Throughout the narratives, I provide progressively only the data necessary to understand the social and religious system. Thus, during the 2 intense days I take the reader through, the logic and dynamics of a system appear gradually. A system that is at once musical, ritual, social, and cosmological. I hope that this book can shed new light, through the prism of music, on a widespread form of local Hinduism, too often presented in India as tribal animism. I hope that it contributes more broadly to the understanding of the relationships that so closely link music and trance possession throughout the world. Finally, by comparing music and alcohol as substances, I show how they act on men in a complementary way, so that drunkenness becomes a form of possession.
Thank you for talking with us, and congratulations again.
Thank you again for this award, and thank you for listening to me.
And we have also two accolades, two books that we wanted to give special distinction to. First one is the beautiful book by Christian Lamoureux, La Dynastie des Songs, the Song Dynasty, that was published by Les Belles Lettres in 2022. Second accolade goes to the book by César Castelvi, Le Dernier Empire de la Presse, une sociologie du journalisme au Japon, The Last Empire of Press, a sociology of journalism in Japan, that was published by CNRS Edition in 2022.